right. Got it. Got it. All right. Well, thank you, Linda and Cassandra. Thank you for inviting to be part of this. As I was thinking about this session, one of the things that popped in my head was before I got into the Sandler business, and you'll hear a little bit more and more about this. I was in the technology training world. So back in the days of Microsoft and Cisco and all these technologies that we were training companies on. I had an awesome boss that was based out of Charlotte, North Carolina, and I was a regional vice president overseeing about four locations. And once a quarter, he would come in, we would meet, we would strategize, we'd talk about talk about the business, talk about the next quarter. And we're talking about a week before he's coming into town. And we're coming off a record quarter. We had an awesome quarter. So I'm happy that he's coming into town. We're laying out the agenda. And he says this, he says, Clint, look, hey, do you have time for dinner that night? I said, yeah, absolutely. I said, where would you like to go? And he said, well, I always love a good steak. I'm just curious, is anybody here from Tampa? Anybody here in the Tampa, Florida area? Give me a yes, no, no. Brock, if you
Yes.
want a good, yeah, Mitch, if you want a good steak in Tampa, where are you heading?
Burns.
Burns. You
Burn.
got it, Mitchell. You got it. Burns Steakhouse. So if you've never been to Burns, put it on your go-to list if you ever make it to Tampa. But so, of course, what do? I set up reservations at Burns Steakhouse, which is an extremely nice steakhouse in town. So we had a great meeting that day, and here we are. We're off having dinner. I'm probably an old fashioned or two in, and his name's Greg. He goes, so Clint, what have you been reading lately? What's the last book you read? And I'm like, I'm not much of a book reader. I listen to stuff and everything. He goes, so you haven't read a leadership or management or sales book or anything? And I said, no, not really. He looks me square in the eyes and he goes, oh, so you've peaked. And whatever came out of my mouth next was probably not that eloquent. But I look back at that as a pivotal point in my career that set me on a different path. Because he was right. I had become an experiential leader. I had stopped investing in myself. And I tell you that just as you go on your journey, hopefully you never get to that point where you feel like you've peaked and you're constantly leaning into it. So, reason why I just start off today is whether you join, the Sandler organization or you get involved with us, you get involved wherever you're going. Just keep that constant learning so you never have the feeling I had. Now, today, let me kind of roll into today and do a little quick housekeeping. Today, you're going to see me bouncing back and forth between my deck to show you a few things and my setup here. So Catherine just put in the chat, or I think she will, that if you when I jump over, so I'm not a 1 inch cube on your screen. You can hit go up to the upper right hand corner, hit speaker view, and now you're going to be able to see what we're talking about. So agenda wise, here it is. Goals for the day. This is going to be extremely interactive. You guys are going to get to participate. I'm going to cover Sandler. And then let me take a look here. Who looks, Cassandra, look at these faces. Which one looks like they have a lot of fun?
I feel like they all have a lot of fun, but
I don't
based
know.
off my screen, I'm thinking
I'm
Kevin
thinking Lauren.
Lauren.
I'm thinking Lauren. Does everybody agree? Everybody look at Lauren. Everybody agree like if you had to hang out with somebody, it's gonna be Lauren. All right. So Lauren, it's your responsibility to make sure we have some fun today. All right. Got it? Cool, cool. All right. Oh, and also, I've got what's called a light board here. So some people kind of wonder, well, what are you writing on? So imagine I have a pane of glass sitting in front of me. got my monitor on the other side of the pane of glass, and there's the camera that's hooked into some tech that switches things so that I can say, "Hey, Steven, what's happening?" And I didn't have to learn how to write backwards. So just so you know, so you're not wondering what the heck kind of sorcery does he have going on there? That's what I've got going on. All right, team. So here's where we're heading. My role today is give you a kind of broad brush overview of Sandler, have some discussions around sales. And by the way, I said this is going to be interactive, so get ready to take yourself off mute. Dennis, are you ready to take yourself off mute? Let's see it.
I'm unmuted.
There you go, Dennis. Dennis, pretty easy question. Give me a definition of behavior.
Behavior
Yeah.
is an action based on emotion.
Okay. All right. I like it. Yep. It's an action. It's something you do. Um, we'll build on that. We call it goals, plans, actions, your work ethic, all fall into behavior. Okay. Marva, you get an easy question. Define technique. Oh, can't hear you, Marva.
Oh, there we go. I would say a technique is a certain way of doing something, something that's specific to a person.
You got it. Yep. Technique is the how you do what you do. All right. Who do I think can handle a Taylor, I think can handle a tough question. Taylor, define attitude.
That is a tough question. I want to lean into like emotion, feeling, how I approach something based on how I feel about it, and then my outward projection of that.
Well,
Somewhere in there.
no, that's good. That's good. That's better than most. Holy smokes. Yeah. It's the mindset, right? And so it's the mindset, it's your outlook towards an instance or thing. Just curious, are any of you willing to admit you have a poor attitude towards something, some place, some person? Okay. All right. We all do, right? I have a bad attitude towards yard work. If somebody says, "Hey, let's go do some yard work," my attitude goes in the tank. No, thank you. Don't want to do it, right? You all have your bad attitudes things. So this is the reason why I show you this is what we call the Sandler success triangle. It grounds you in whatever you do. It doesn't have to just be sales. It can be just about anything. All three of these have to play. You got to have behaviors, your goals, your plans. What are you going after? What are you trying to achieve? You got to have techniques that you're constantly working on. How am I doing this better? What can I do to tweak this, change this? You're always going to be working on techniques, and then we're constantly striving to keep our attitude and our mindset where it needs to be. So, big picture, you can reflect this to a lot of different things. Now, I can tell Drew likes a good debate. We're not going to do this much. Drew, you like a good debate?
Who doesn't?
Oh, who doesn't? Oh man, I don't know. I don't know if Jeremiah, you like a good debate?
Who doesn't?
All right, all right, all right. We're not going to spend much time on this, but I'm always curious about this debate here. Here's a good debate. Attitude, behavior, technique. Drew, do you believe behavior drives attitude, or do you believe attitude drives behavior?
That's a tough one. I think they maybe are
Well,
there's a symbiosis there.
I'm forced choicing you. You got to pick one, my friend.
If I got to pick one,
Yep. Does your attitude drive behavior, or does your behavior drive?
I would say the attitude drives behavior.
Okay. All right. Everybody go down to your chat. You need to write in there either A to B or B to A. Write in there A to B or B to A. What do you believe? All right, let's see here. See what we're getting. All right. A to B, A to B, A to B, A to B, B to A. All right, cool. Here's what we're going to simply do. Jeremiah and Drew, you two get to debate this for the next 90 seconds. Drew, you get to go first. State your case. Why do you believe that? And then Jeremiah, you get to state your case. Why do you believe?
Okay. So our attitude, we can, our attitude starts at the beginning of the day. We can wake up and decide how we're going to feel that day. We can, and some of the things that we do in our mornings are a reflection of our attitude. So if we wake up and we have a sense of gratitude to just be alive, that is going to have a dramatic effect on our behavior.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's about all I really need to
Okay.
say about that.
All right. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Jeremiah, you got the next 60 seconds.
Yeah, so I think that I agree with a lot of what Drew said. However, you know, our reptile brain usually takes over, especially in the moment. And so, you know, a lot of times our behavior ends up driving our mindset, even though we would intentionally like our mindset to drive our behavior. And so, you know, it's what we wish was true and what is actually true are usually divergent. And so a lot of times our behavior does end up driving our mindset, because how often do you get, you know, cut off in traffic and then all of a sudden your initial reaction is, oh, I can't say it here. But it's not a very nice reaction, right? And so
Yeah.
that drives your mindset. And then you're emotionally charged for the next 30 minutes, 60 minutes, whatever it is, even though logically, you know that that's past. You should have calmed down already. But if you're already
Yeah.
having a bad day, now your behavior is driving your mindset.
We could spend hours on this, couldn't we, team? This is good stuff. This is good stuff. So let me give it to you. Let me give it to you in this way. Okay. Will we all agree that each of them can drive each other? Can we at least say that yes, one can go the other way? They can have that, like Drew said, a symbiotic relationship. Absolutely. And a lot of people go, well, it's a trick question. And I'm going to say no, it's not, because if your attitude is already there, then great, your behavior is going to follow. And I'm going to keep this just narrow in my sales world. You can take this into life and in different worlds. But I'm going to say this, in sales, you have to do a lot of behavior you don't want to do. You're going to have to, if some of you, you're going to have to make cold calls. You're going to have to prospect, and you don't have the right attitude to do it. That does not give you the right to not do it. You have to do it even though it sucks. So that's where we say get centered on the behavior. You do the behavior and it will shift and change your attitude. Because I don't care how you woke up in the morning. If the day before you said you're going to make 50 cold calls, or you're going to go into a networking group that you don't want to go to, or you're going to go do some tough stuff, you have to do it. And at the end of the day, the only acknowledgement you might get is that you did the work. You didn't get the success, but you did the work. So that's why we just like to make sure that everybody gets this. And if you can attitude your way there, awesome. But you always can't attitude your way to everything, because out of the two, there's only one that you are 100% in control of, and that's your behavior. And every now and then somebody goes, no, you're in control of your attitude. Then I would say, great. How can you fix my attitude towards yard work? I don't like it. How can you fix it? I'll behave it. I'll go get it done. And the only damn thing I'm happy about is it's done. That's it. So, but they do work together. So please understand, attitude's at the top of the triangle for a reason. Vitally, vitally, extremely more important. And like Drew says, you wake up in the morning and you're feeling good, you're going to have great behavior. Awesome. You wake up in the morning, you don't feel good, that does not give you the right to not do the behavior. And those of you that have ever seen miles and miles of road that you've ran or ever gone to a workout, you know what I mean. You may not have wanted to go do that workout, but you had goals that you were trying to hit, and you went ahead and you did it. And at least when you were done, you probably felt a little bit better. So these all play together. And that's the key here when we get into sales, because we've got all kinds of challenges. So here's what's going to happen next. We're going to do a real quick breakout room. You all get the chance to just at least say hello to to some of your colleagues and such, and people that you've never met before. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to answer this question. Hey, just give me a list. What are maybe two or three, maybe four, two or three areas of sales, if you think of sales that you may want to learn more about? What are some issues, challenges? If you are in sales, what are some issues, challenges you're having? Not saying we're going to be able to knock them all out in the 40 some minutes we have left, but I just want to know from you all, what are the top issues, two or three challenges that you're having as it relates to sales or thinking about sales that you believe you might have? So I need I need a leader in there that's going to take notes, and I'm going to make it real simple. It's going to be the person whose last name is last in the alphabet. So if it's Williams, there's a pretty dang good chance, Courtney, you're going to be the leader. Andrew, don't know if you guys are related, but you never know. All right, so you got Catherine. Let's give them 3 minutes, 1 minute breakout. You got 4 minutes. Come back with just a list of things. We'll try to knock off a few of them. I'm going to give you a broad brush overview of the Sandler methodology before we wrap up. So you got 4 minutes. Keep this pretty tight. If your last name is last in the alphabet, you're going to be the leader. Just start asking people, "Hey, what do you think? Dennis, what do you think? Kelvin, Kevin, what do you think?" And away we go. You got 4 minutes. Go.
Okay, just a couple of reminders. If you go out and you get a pop-up box, please choose Got It, not the X, and you will automatically come into the room. So you can just go ahead and let that countdown happen, and we'll bring you back into the room. Here we go. Just a second. Now I have to move some people. Okay,
All right.
we're in the countdown. Everyone's out. All right, Clint, everyone's back.
All right. Hey, team, listen tightly. Okay. This is typically true, but not always. We'll see. Usually the absolute brightest and smartest group volunteers to go first. Oh, all right. I saw Courtney. Courtney raised her hand. All right, Courtney, what do you got? This better be good. Your team's counting on you.
And so team was Ina, Dennis, Anita, and myself. And we started off with being pushy or showing value and follow up. So overcoming objections.
Okay, hold on. Being pushy, follow up, and objections.
Yeah, so being pushed for the follow up when you get kind of rejection in a price or somebody said, "Hey, I don't need that." So following up. So overcoming those
Okay.
the objection for people. Um
Wait. Just so I know, us being pushy or us being pushed off?
us us pushing further for the second
Got it.
to show value for your product and why
Okay.
you are selling it.
All right. Got it.
Then also getting out externally to start selling and getting out there to sell to your target audience as well
Yeah.
as making time for business development, that making that time for getting out there to do the sale.
Okay. Got
And
it.
then the last thing is pricing for your target customer.
Okay. All right. Pricing. Okay. Got it. All right. Um, I'm going to address just a couple of these real quick. Real quick. Time. Anybody here willing to admit you have a time management issue? All right. Some, yeah. Some, yeah. All right. Here's the deal. Prospecting is the reason why. If you have you ever heard somebody in your, friend, family, or what have you say, "Oh my goodness, I could never be in sales."
Oh,
You
yes,
ever heard somebody
definitely.
say, yeah. Here's what I believe. I believe those people, they probably could be, but what they're not willing to do is the hardest thing, and that's prospect. Go talk to strangers. Okay. It doesn't happen automatically. So when you think about time, you have to time block for it. You have to create what's called a prospecting plan. That means that you are going to do X amount of activities at this dates and times, and it could be LinkedIn, cold calls, walk-ins, networking events. Just like anything, if you don't have a plan, it's too easy to not do it. So that's the part that then drives things. When somebody tells me they have a time management issue, tell me you got a time management issue, I politely push back on it and I go, are you sure? Are you sure you don't have a priority issue? And then are you sure you don't have a goal issue? Tell me you have goals. Tell me you know how to prioritize those goals. Then tell me why you didn't brush your teeth this morning. See what I mean? Right? Right? Well, wait a second. Most of you got dressed, I can tell. You had a goal. Don't show up without clothes on. You prioritize that and you took the time to do it. So, and I understand there's time management tools that you can use and there's certain things that can make you more efficient. I get that. But all the time when somebody tells me they don't have time to do it, when I say something like, I don't have the time, I have to check myself and go, I didn't make the time. That's it. I just didn't, right? I when I complain that I'm not playing enough golf, just not taking the time to do it. Okay. Let me give you this. Let me give you this around follow-up. Okay. Let me give you this. And if you're going to write anything down today, write this down. Okay. And don't throw stuff at me right yet until I explain. Follow-up sucks. Get out of follow-up. Quit following up. Now let me explain. Let me explain. If you are talking to somebody that is an opportunity for you to potentially have become a client of yours, never, I mean ever, ever, ever let them off your calendar. Every single meeting leads to another meeting, leads to another meeting. If they don't want to stay on your calendar, then that means they're avoiding commitment and they're probably being nice, but they're not interested. If they say something like, hey, look, oh, this was great. Why don't you follow up with me in a couple weeks? And you say, okay, and leave, they're off your calendar. If they say, call, send me some information and I'll take a look at it, and you do, and you don't keep them on your calendar, they're off your calendar. If there's anything that lengthens a sales cycle, it's our inability to keep somebody in our calendar booked for the next meeting with a clear future that's going to happen. Okay. Because if you're following up with somebody, it's inefficient. That person is interested. Think about you. Whenever you've gone to buy something and it was going to take multiple meetings for you to decide to buy from somebody, you wanted to know when you're going to connect or talk next. When you weren't that interested, you were really good about not getting them on the calendar. Let me prove it to you. How many of you have run into somebody in your neighborhood at the superstore or what have you? You run into somebody you haven't seen for a while, and they say something like this. Who can I pick on? I'm going to pick on Brock. Hey, Brock. Hey, yeah, good to see you. We should get together and get dinner sometime soon. And Brock goes, yeah, we should do that. But you don't open up your calendars and you don't book it in there. Guess what? Neither one of you really wanted to do it, did you?
No.
See what I mean? Right? Right? If you really did want to get together with them, you'd say, well, hey, what about next weekend? Or what about the weekend after that? And you would absolutely book it. Every single one of us did it because we weren't that committed to actually going out to dinner with those people. Doesn't make them bad people. We just didn't want to hang out with them. That's what I mean about that. If it's important, they will stay on the calendar and you'll keep them on the calendar. All right, next group real quick. Drew, Kevin, Peter, Steven, who's got it?
Sorry, I'm eating as well.
I can go through if you
uh,
want, it don't matter.
man. Okay, no, it's cool. I got him. Okay, so Kevin, he outlined refining and aligning messaging and
Okay.
concision.
Messaging, okay. What kind of
And
messaging is, just so I know, is this like, Kevin, is this like an opening messaging or is this, what is it?
It's aligning with their pain points, not what you
Okay.
have to offer. Everyone knows how great we all are, but we're not aligning with our customers' pain points. We're not doing anything. So aligning
Okay.
with their actual pain point.
Got it. Which means we're not finding it. Is that what you're saying? Okay.
We're not communicating it. Yeah, we already know we have the perfect solution. Why? Right? Why align? Yeah.
Oh, you mean you're okay. You start to we call it PPS, premature presentation syndrome, right? Somebody tells us they have a problem. The moment they tell us a little bit of a problem, we want to jump in and give them a solution, right? Okay. Let me give you one way to start working on this. One way to start helping. How many of you have a significant other? Okay. If I ask your significant others, how many of them would say, "Oh my gosh, I can't wait to tell my husband or my significant other, my partner, my wife, my problem so they can solve it"? None of them. None of them would say that, right? But what do you do the moment your significant other starts telling you, "Oh gosh, I had this"? You start jumping in and trying to solve their freaking problem. You want to get good at sales? Quit trying to solve people's problems. You got to take them down the questioning path in order for them to go, "You know something, Kevin? Hey, gosh, you've asked me all some really good questions, and you made me realize, yeah, these are some of the issues I got. Is this something you can help me with?" You just close the business. When you get somebody asking for your help and your advice, that means you've questioned them the right way, very consultatively. "Hey, tell me more about that. Can you be more specific? Can you give me an example? How long's that been a problem? What have you done to try to fix it?" This is the ultimate goal. You are trying to get to impact. Your significant other tells you they have a problem. Quit trying to solve it for them. "Oh, really? Tell me more. Huh? Give me an example. Oh, how'd that work? Oh, how'd that happen? Oh, was this the first time that ever happened? Oh my goodness. Well, what did you do? What do you think you're going to do? Well, how do you think that's going to work out? Well, hey, what do you think the impact's going to be?" The moment you get to impact, that causes movement. That causes people to change. I have gotten to the point, probably about maybe anywhere from 1 to 4 times a month, I will say to my lovely significant other of 27 years, "Hey, are you just wanting me to listen, or are you asking for my advice?" 80 to 90% of the time, I'm just asking for you to listen. I'm just asking for you to listen. Got it. And I'll give her a good listening to. The other time she wants my advice, and of course, I'm ready to give it to her, right? So I'm just taking what you're saying and putting it into, how do you get good at sales? You get good at human relations communications. You get great at asking questions, but you got to know what you're looking for. And for the rest of your life, if I can give you nothing more than you are looking for business and emotional impact, people will buy based upon both of those. They're ultimately frustrated, or it's costing them X amount of dollars to not do something. My last quick example of this is, some of you have had a bad back, a bad knee, bad headaches, whatever. Some of you have had some issues. You dealt with it, took some medicine, it was fine, and you decided not to go to the doctor for a while until the impact was so great you needed somebody else to fix it. That's what I mean by impact. That's what we got to find in the business world. All right, Drew, any other one? Are we good there?
Well, I only told you about Kevin's.
Oh, please.
If you want me to rattle the other six off, self-starting, distractions,
Okay, got it.
approach, capturing attention,
Okay.
converting a no, lead qualification.
Okay. No, lead qual. Okay. A lot of that I'll say falls into marketing, attention, converting a no. I'll give you a real quick thing on that. Converting a no, I'd first say, well, how did you get yourself there? Okay, maybe there's issues there. But when you get to this, the next
How
question
big's
you
the
would
volume?
ask, the next
E,
question.
how,
Oh,
how big is the volume? Just a
oh
little
yeah,
bit down,
yeah. You
sir.
got to go back into how big is the problem. Maybe the problem isn't that big. There wasn't enough there. Absolutely. But if you do get a no, which we all do, the next question you just ask is, hey, just curious, is this a no for now or a no forever? Most people won't ever say forever. So then you come back with well, okay, well, hey, just curious, what would need to happen in your business or in your world where all of a sudden you'd be like, hey, you know something? I need to reach out to Clint. What would need to happen in order for that? So that gets you back into what we call finding the pain of what you need to uncover to see if the pain's great enough for them to spend time, energy, and effort, and money to fix it. Okay. We have a saying in the Sandler business, go for the no. It's psychology based, and don't take this harsh. It's a very subtle thing, but the more you seem like you're trying to get them to solve their problem without you, the more they will come towards you. The more you do anything that looks like pushy, and I know that's what you weren't saying being, you being pushy, but the moment, think about this, anybody you're looking to buy from, the moment they become pushy and try to get you to convince you to do something, you pull away. That's psychology working right there. We call it reactance. Somebody does something that, oh, come on, you can't make this decision. They go after your ego thing. You got to ask your significant other. You don't make decisions on your own. The moment somebody does that pushy thing is the moment you go, I think I won't buy from you. And you'll get rid of them. Okay. All right, we got time for maybe one more group. I wish we had all of them. Then I want to give you kind of a broad brush overview of the Sandler process. So Brock, Kendall, Marva, Yulia,
Oh,
who's
yes.
got it?
So I think we discussed the pushing back already and convincing people when they say no. So what I will mention is when you don't really know your client, you don't know your market, so you don't know how to sell them something because you don't understand them. And the other thing is I've noticed that the problem with sales can be when you don't know how to sell. You never been doing it, you never been trained in sales, so how are
Yeah.
you gonna do it?
Okay. All right. Yulia, is sales an art or a science?
It is an art
Okay. Tell me why you believe so.
because there is no hard rules and every rules can be broken or avoided or going around, something like this.
Okay. All right. All right. Wait, I got Kevin. Kevin's jumping all over this with a shaking of his head. Kevin,
It's the science.
it's a science. Well, tell us why, Kevin.
Okay, just because it's a science doesn't mean there's this rigid procedural steps. It's the science means there's a methodology behind it. There's reasoning, there's data behind it that drive how we make decisions in that space. So it's a science.
All right. This one was a trick question. I'll admit it. I'm being transparent. Can we agree that it's both?
I can agree to that.
Thanks, Peter. Thanks, Peter. Yeah, because you both are so right. Think about what Yulia said. It's the creativeness, it's the weaving, it's the movement, it's the charisma, your wit, your style, your humor. It's what you bring, right? It's your uniqueness. That's the art. Some of you are funny. Right, some of you are funny. Like Peter, Peter's probably could pull off a joke in a sales call, and everybody be like, "Oh my gosh, this guy's the coolest." All right, yeah, I'll buy from him because he's cool and he's
Like
funny,
like how you
right?
just pivoted right there. See how he just pivoted?
See that, right? But see, there's others of you. You're not funny. That's not your art. Don't try to use it because imagine if you said, "Oh, just go do what Peter does," and you try to be funny like Peter. That's gonna fail miserably, right? You got a different art and a different gift. Now, let's look at what Kevin was saying, the science, right? Let me give you the quick science of the sale, right? Here's the traditional sales model. Here's the traditional sales model. So I just want you to lay your eyes on that. This is not in order, but if you were to put this in order, I want you to just mentally put it in order. What kind of order would you put it in?
You conduct the analysis first.
Okay. All right. So needs analysis first, then what?
Then you will attempt to close or handle objection, whatever
Okay.
first.
So close them, handle objections.
I mean, obviously after you present it.
So wait, needs analysis, then present?
Then present, then attempt to close, and then handle objection.
Oh, so you've done this before. There you go.
Yeah,
Right? Yep. So I want you to lay your eyes. What's wrong with this? What's wrong with this is we're presenting way too soon.
because we don't even know. Do they need
Yeah.
a presentation?
Well, we find out what they need, but we don't find out enough. And then that's why we get all the stalls and objections later and everything. Everything we want to do in Sandler, and you'll see this in our process, is get all of that out of the way before you propose. Here's one of our Sandler rules. If you have to wait to close the business till the presentation, you waited too long. Your presentation does not close business. They should already be closed by the time you get there. Okay, now everybody put your buyer's hat on for a second. Put your buyer's hat on. What's the buyer's system? What's the buyer's science? How does he or she, how do you buy? Yeah, Peter, tell me, what do you think?
Well, for me personally, I start with what information I can get first of all.
Well, take a look at this. Put this in order for me, Peter.
Oh, okay. Okay, all right, I'll take that back. So normally for me, there's some sort of interest. So
Okay.
that'll be interest for me.
Yeah.
Then after that will be information, of course.
Yeah.
So there's different things out there. After that will be after the information for me will be my motivated enough to move forward. So that I'll put as motivation. And then and then I'll say the next one for me will be I'll put avoid commitment, then disappear, depending on.
Wow. Wow. Look at this. He nailed it. He nailed it. Nobody try to sell Peter anything. He's going to do this on you. Right? You all, me included, are guilty of this. Right? You've gone out to something, you've gone to Best Buy, you looked at the TV or what have you, and then you went back home and checked it out on Amazon. Right? Whatever that might be. And that poor salesperson there is thinking, oh, you're coming back. Whatever. It's just psychology, right? The thing that I want you to lay your eyes on is avoid commitment. This is where you start to read the buyer. Are they giving you wishy-washy, non-committal terms? Are they going, yeah, we might be interested in this. We should look at this. We have maybe someday. I don't know. We'll see. Let me socialize this with the team. When people are not committed to something, it's amazing the vagueness of their language and how that starts to come out. That's what you have to tune your ear for. So when you hear it, you know it. Those of you that have raised teenagers, you know what vagueness sounds like. Oh yeah, we're going over to this person's house. Oh, who's that person? Oh, and you got to ask them 16 different questions to kind of get down to really what the heck's happening. Now you know what I'm talking about. Okay. So here's the deadly pairing. Here's what happens, right? Oh, I'm doing a needs analysis and they are showing some interest and they're acting motivated. They say, give me a proposal, give me a presentation, and I jump in and I give them one. And now they're getting my information. Anybody here ever feel like you're an unpaid consultant? You got paid to give them a ton of information and insight. They took it and to this day got all kinds of information from you. Well, it's because we got this backwards. We supplied all that information. We never really got a commitment out of them. So this is what we call the buyer-seller dance. If you don't know any better, we end up falling into this. So let me give you an overview of the Sandler. Here's some philosophies you can lay your eyes on. I'm not going to read them to you. Probably the most important one for me is number 3. Salespeople are professionals. Salespeople are professionals. Equal business stature mindset. We're no better than or worse than them. We have to have that equal business stature. These are the philosophies that are the underlying pins of Sandler and how we look at things. and people have to qualify for your time. So this is the Sandler methodology. To Kevin's point, we believe sales is an art and a science. And if you don't have the process, if you don't have the science of where you are and what you're trying to find and what you're trying to go, then you're just winging it. It'd be like anything that you have ever done that was repeatable, that you could get good at and build confidence, had a process to it. So this is what we simply have done is we've taken sales and we put a process to it. First step in the process is called engaging. First part of engaging is communicating, connecting with people. We used to call it bonding and rapport. We've shifted it to communication. That means, like it or not, we are all very judgmental people. When you meet somebody, you start to judge, would I buy from this person or not? Do I believe this person? Can I relate to this person? Is this person more like me or less like me? Do we have more in common or less in common? So when we dive into this topic, we talk about things like body language, tonality, the words that you choose to use have to mirror up with who you're sitting across the table from. The silly example is if you're sitting across the table from somebody who grew up in New York and they talk damn fast and you know something, they're just looking to make things happen and such, and you're talking like you grew up in South Georgia and you're at just a little bit of a slower pace, doesn't make you non-intelligent. I mean, you're disconnecting right away. We talk about how many of you are familiar with DISC, communication profiles, DISC. Anybody familiar with DISC? Okay, Jeremiah, awesome. Awesome. So this would be an area that I'd tell you to do some research. It stands for DISC, stands for dominant, influencer, steady relator, compliant. Dominant, influencer, steady relator, compliant. Each one of you has a primary way you communicate. Dominants are our be brief, be bright, be gone people. Influencers, you know, these are dominants just like they sound. These are your people that, hey, let's make things happen, let's get things done. Away we go. Influencers are your people pleasers. They love to be around people. They talk with a smile on their face. People are attracted to them, but they don't like to make decisions on their own. S's are steady relators, cool, calm, collected. These are your diesel engine people. These people want structure and they want to make sure things are done right. And they'll be very comforted that things get taken care of. And they love to be behind the scenes and make things happen. But they don't like change and they don't like taking risks. Your C's are your analyticals. These are your engineers, your accountants, your people that look at data and look at numbers around every decision that they make. So when I peel this back and say, oh, hey, communication is a science. Oh, you bet it is. Because if you decide to get into sales, if you are in sales, your job is to be a professional communicator, which means I can communicate with every single person I ever meet. And I can flex towards their style. So now we meet people, we connect with them. Now we set, this is a Sandler thing called an upfront contract. Can't go into the details of this, but here's what I want you to know. What it does is it's the bookends of your sales call. It starts your sales call and it ends your sales call by establishing the time we're going to be together, what you and I want to accomplish, and what the outcome is that we're driving towards. So if I was doing an upfront contract with Mitchell, I would say something like, Mitchell, hey, how are we on time? We still good for the 30 minutes? He would say, yeah, absolutely. I'd say, great, Mitchell, I've got a lot of questions for you. I want to know about, you know, a little bit about your sales numbers over the past year. I want to know about your sales team, your turnover, maybe even dive into a little bit of, you know, the margins that you have on your deals. And even if you negotiate any of that as the deal progresses and gets later in the cycle, you okay if I ask you those type of questions? I'm teeing up for Mitchell where I'm headed and what I'm looking to ask him. And he opts in by saying yes. And then I hit my outcome because Mitchell, hey, by the time we're done with this meeting, either one of two things is going to happen. Either one is we might determine I'm not a good fit. We can't help you. And if that's the case, we'll still both be good friends and away we go. Or if at the end of this meeting, there is an opportunity, the only thing we're going to do is book another meeting to do a little bit of a deeper dive, maybe talk about how we might start delivering things to help you. Does that make sense, Mitchell? And then I'd kick it over to him. Mitchell, what are the top 2 or 3 or 4 things you want to make sure we spend our time talking about as well? And now he sets his agenda. So an upfront contract lays the groundworks of what's about ready to happen before it happens. Gets crystal clear, us all on the same page, which then allows us to now roll into the qualification steps of pain, which is what we talked about finding impact. What's the real motivators? What's happening here? Why is this happening? Is it a big enough problem that you're willing to spend time, energy, and effort and resources and money on it? We have to talk about investments, which is, are they willing to spend the money to fix it? The more pain somebody has, the more money they will find to fix it. And we also call pain and investment is building the business case. Do they have enough pain to spend $100,000 on this new software platform because it's going to get them X, Y, Z, and the business case makes sense? If you, as a business professional, can't help them make that sense, then why would they spend $100K on it? They probably won't. Why would they spend $5K on it? They probably won't if the business case doesn't make sense. Best example that I have right now is you're walking someplace and there's a Verizon or AT&T or T-Mobile kiosk, and they go, "Hey, Dennis, hey, would you like to try out our, maybe Dennis has Verizon. Hey, do you want to try out AT&T?" And he's like, "No, not really." And they go, "Yeah, but we can save you $5. Dennis isn't moving for $5. Business case isn't there. But Dennis would move and pay an extra 10 or $15 if I found out Dennis has a problem that his calls keep dropping when he's at his house.
Maybe.
See what I mean?
Maybe. I'll let you know.
Maybe. Maybe. Right? If it's a big enough problem, right? Or if I could save him $70 a month, now he might be interested because I reached a threshold that I can be a low-cost provider, but good luck getting service. All right?
Who sucks less?
There you go. Are you in insurance, Dennis?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
No, my brother's been in insurance his whole career, and that's what he basically says. Our mantra is we don't suck as bad as the next person. So
I was in technology sales for 30 years, and I just started my own business through the help of the EBV at Syracuse. So now I've moved into a different line of work.
very cool. Congratulations, Dennis.
Thanks.
Yeah, we'll have to talk. Most of my 50-60% of my clients are tech clients. So if we can ever talk, we'll be able to share some stories. All right. All right, team. Last things here. Pain, investment, and then look at this last step, decision-making process. This is your who, what, where, when, why, and how they're going to make a decision. Think about this. When do they need this by? When does it need to be installed, implemented, up and running? Who all needs to be involved, i.e. making sure you identify all the key decision makers. And then how does an organization like them make a decision? You all, in your own home, you make a decision certain ways. In companies, they make decisions certain ways. Depending upon who you sell to, they may have to involve 2 or 3 other people. A business case might have to get put together. Things might have to run through legal. You might run into a procurement team. You have to know all of that before you put together your presentation, your proposal. So if you take something away from here, pain, investment, talking about money, talking about, hey, how much have you set aside? Is this a budgeted line item? Giving them a range of what this might invest. So let's say, you've got something that, that you're going to sell them for somewhere between 40 to 50,000. And they go, "Oh my gosh, I thought it was going to be 20. Wouldn't you want to arm wrestle or deal with that now, as opposed to putting a proposal together? Now they see that it's 50 grand and they thought it was going to be half of that, and they get sticker shock. Pain, investment, decision are your qualification steps. You do that, now you can put together your proposal that's going to solve their pain within the investments levels that you already discussed. And you understand when they're going to make a decision. Okay. ton goes into this, but this is the science. This is the Sandler methodology that's taught at 230 some locations around the globe. And a lot of the organizations you would be familiar with, we've worked with, and what are they buying? They're buying this process in order to make sure that they've got a repeatable and scalable process that they can follow. I got introduced to this, went through it for 2 years in 97, 98, got into doing Sandler in 2005. I'm in my 21st year of being a trainer, and I am still trying to get great at this. It's going to take me forever. I'll only incrementally get better, but this is the process. So hopefully this kind of sheds a little bit of insight on where we go. I know we got 3 minutes left. I think I'm going to kick it over to Linda. Hopefully you picked up one or two things that you can take away, be able to put to use. And if we can ever be of support, please reach back out to Linda and Cassandra, and they'll be able to do what they can to send you our direction. Linda, back over to you, unless you need something from me.
No, that was amazing. I learned so much. I hope all of you did too. Thank you so much to you and Catherine for doing the behind the scenes. Really appreciate it. And I hope you all enjoyed it. Just expect an email later today with the link to the recording so that you can rewatch it if you'd like. And if you need anything or have any questions, you can reach out to us through email, ivmfalumni@syr.edu. But anyways, thanks again so much, everybody.
Thanks, team. Take care.
Thank you all.